Tonight we take a look at how a new mask order is affecting the state of Alabama. A popular restaurant is coming to downtown Auburn, and National Pet Day. That's all coming up on Eagle Eye's News at 6. Good evening and welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Blake Phillips.
And I'm Kisa Yoon. Governor Kay Ivey held a press conference on Wednesday morning to issue a new Safer Apart order, which will go into effect on Friday at 5 p.m. Masks will not be required to be worn, but they are still encouraging citizens to wear them and maintain social distancing. Local governments in Birmingham, Gadsden, and Montgomery have passed mandatory mask mandates for their cities in response to the order. For more information on the order, you can visit the state's website for everything you need to know about the Safer Apart order.
It was announced on Thursday that Auburn will require face coverings inside campus buildings and facilities, with exceptions granted in designated areas. Attendees at athletic events are required to wear face coverings when entering and exiting the venue and in public spaces, such as concourses, restrooms, and concession lines, and are encouraged to wear them when seated. Face coverings are strongly encouraged outdoors, although not required when physical distancing is not feasible. This policy adjustment is effective as of Friday and extends until further notice. The change coincides with the Friday expiration of the statewide face covering mask mandate. When announcing the new Safer Apart order, Governor Ivey urged Alabamians to continue good health practices, including wearing face coverings when appropriate.
In their weekly COVID-19 update, Auburn University reported 6 positive cases for the week of March 28th. This is fewer cases than the week before, which saw 24 test positive. The total number of positive cases since September 6th is 2,269 for Auburn's main campus. If you suspect you have been exposed to COVID-19, self-report to the Auburn University Medical Clinic or on Auburn's COVID Resource Center.
In record-breaking fashion, over 4 million COVID vaccinations were administered in a 24-hour period last weekend, according to the CDC. More than 4 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccine have been administered in a 24-hour span, according to the CDC Saturday. That is a new record. It brings the 7-day average of shots in arms to more than 3 million per day. 161 million doses have now been administered in the United States, with more than 59 million Americans now fully vaccinated. With the surge of coronavirus cases being reported in places like Michigan, health officials are hoping the pace of vaccinations will outpace the spread of the virus. Michigan just reported its highest case count of new COVID-19 cases since December, with 80. Coming up, Amazon workers voted on whether or not to unionize, and former President Donald Trump endorses Mo Brooks for Senate.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. Dreamer's Corner is getting a new edition after a recent report by Atlanta Tomorrow's News Daily disclosed that Whataburger, a Texas-based burger joint, will replace the recently closed restaurant Pyology that is located at 101 College Street. This Whataburger location will be within a 10-mile radius from the other upcoming location at Tigertown. Prior to these announcements, Auburn residents would have to drive over 2 hours to reach the nearest Whataburger location in Clanton, Alabama. Although the opening dates for both locations are unknown, Auburn residents can now look forward to this new addition to downtown Auburn.
A historic event ended without forming what would have been Amazon's first ever union. The months-long battle drew national and even international attention.
Well, certainly not the outcome that some Amazon workers were hoping for. Employees actually voted overwhelmingly against forming a union. Now about 1,800 voted no and only a little more than 700 voted yes. This comes after workers spent months hosting rallies and other campaign events trying to gain support. They were asking for better wages and improved working conditions. Those looking to organize the union say they may have lost this time, but they're not giving up.
I believe this is the foundation for something great that's about to happen all over the world. And by no means that this is the end right here. We just have begun to fight. Failure is not in my category. I don't even know what that means. So right now, we're gonna fight and we're gonna continue to fight.
And even before the results were final, already allegations that Amazon interfered in the election. The Retail, Wholesale, and Department Store Union plans to formally challenge Amazon. In Bessemer, Chip Scarborough, WVTM 13.
A motion to revoke the bond of 18-year-old Johnston Taylor, the teen charged in connection with the deaths of Rod and Paula Bramblett, was filed last week following a positive test for alcohol consumption by Taylor. The test indicated previously heavy drinking 1 to 3 days before testing or recent light drinking within the past 24 hours. Taylor's defense attorneys objected to the motion, claiming the positive results were due to consumption of allergy medicine by the defendant. This would be the second time Johnston Taylor would have his bond revoked since his indictment by a Lee County grand jury on 2 counts of manslaughter as an adult in January 2020.
And former President Donald Trump is endorsing controversial Alabama Representative Mo Brooks in his Senate campaign. Right now, Brooks is running for the Alabama Senate seat that will become available when Senator Richard Shelby retires next year. He is currently in a primary campaign for the Republican nomination for that seat.
Major League Baseball announced earlier this week that it'd be moving its All-Star game out of Atlanta due to Georgia's controversial new voting bill. The bill is set to put new restrictions on voting and has drawn enough ire for the MLB to relocate the big game to Denver, Colorado. Rather than an all-star game at Truist Park that was expected to give Atlanta area businesses a big boost following what was a difficult pandemic, it will be a July 13th event at Coors Field in Denver. The all-star game is expected to attract nearly $200 million to the state's economy. When we come back, UPC is hosting an Earth Day celebration and Auburn students received a prestigious award.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. University Program Council, or UPC, the Office of Sustainability, and the Department of Geosciences will be hosting the Earth Day Extravaganza on Thursday, April 22nd from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the campus green. Students can enjoy the outdoors while learning more about Earth Day. Other activities include students planting their own succulent, snacking on a locally sourced shrimp taco, and playing yard games. As the event nears, follow Auburn UPC on Instagram and Facebook for more details.
To close out Auburn University Theater's 2020-21 season, Changing Stages, Staging Change. The Department of Theater is changing stages one last time. For this production, audiences will be transported to newly built stages in new places. The future is here. A student one-act and performance festival will be in person, outside, masked, and socially distanced at the J. and Susie Gouge Performing Arts Center at Auburn University on Saturday, April 10th and Sunday, April 11th.
Students in Raymond J. Harbert College of Business's Financial Management Association, or FMA, are Duff & Phelps University Deal Challenge National Champion for the second consecutive year. Kennedy Jarvis, a junior in finance, led the team this year with Sam Colvin, a junior in mechanical engineering, and Nick Thompson, a sophomore in accounting and finance. Their pitch wowed industry professional judges with their pre-COVID and post-COVID valuations of a multi-chain restaurant company in the United Kingdom. The students were awarded $15,000 for their first place finish. Auburn FMA fielded a team in this international competition every year for the last 5 years, placing in the top 5 every time but one, and winning the national title the last 2 consecutive years.
Students have been selected as the 2021 recipients of the prestigious Algernon Sidney Sullivan Award. Political science professor Stephen Brown, students William Eliano and Meredith Sylvia are this year's recipients of the award, which is given annually by the university to individuals who embody high qualities and nobility of character. The Algernon Sidney Sullivan Award has been presented at Auburn since 1951 as a reminder of the noblest human qualities exemplified by Algernon Sidney Sullivan, a prominent humanitarian and first president of the New York Southern Society, now the Algernon Sidney Sullivan Foundation. When we come back, the world mourns the loss of Prince Philip and it's National Pet Day.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. A shooting was confirmed Monday afternoon at a high school in Knoxville, Tennessee, and one of the multiple victims was reported to be a police officer. A male teenager was killed and a police officer wounded Monday afternoon in a shooting at Austin East Magnet High School in Knoxville. The source said the wounded police officer is the Austin East School Resource Officer. He was shot in the hip and is undergoing surgery, the source told Knox News. It is reported that one person has been detained. And the nation is in mourning after Britain's Prince Philip passed away Friday morning. The 99-year-old was the husband of Queen Elizabeth and father to Prince Charles, Princess Anne, Prince Andrew, and Prince Edward.
The Duke of Edinburgh was born as the Prince of Greece and Denmark in 1921. His family fled to Paris when he was an infant after they were overthrown from power. 8 years later, Philip was sent to England to be raised by his grandmother and uncle. He served in the British Royal Navy from 1939 to 1953 and fought in World War II. The Queen and Prince Philip met before the Second World War when he was a young naval cadet. The couple married in 1947.
I was always struck by how much he was committed to supporting the Queen on every occasion, whether it was a happy one or a more difficult task with members of the family or sad occasion. But he was always there.
During his time with the Royal Air Force, he logged almost 6,000 flight hours in 59 different types of aircraft over 4 decades. Famous for his energy, the Duke's health inevitably deteriorated as he headed into old age. In the summer of 2017, Prince Philip effectively announced his retirement, saying he would give up official royal duties. Prince Philip was the oldest serving royal consort. He was known for his love of painting, horses, flying, sailing, and environmental conservation. Prince Philip, serviceman, campaigner, great-grandfather, and a beloved husband. I'm Nadia Romero reporting.
A young girl in Colorado is using her writing to make a difference. She is serving her community, providing meals and cards to those in need.
Miriam Mohammed has made the most of her quarantine.
I'm not ready to talk to people again.
And that's okay. Instead, she's communicating through writing.
Little quotes and inspirational things.
Things much bigger than most 12-year-olds think about.
Maybe it would make their day. That's why I started doing them.
She writes a lot.
About 20 or more.
Homemade greeting cards, if you will.
So right now I'm writing, clouds can be anything like how you can do anything.
Meant to lift those up who may be down right now.
I did these at home for fun at the beginning, and then I got the idea what if I start giving these to people? So that's what I started doing.
Miriam takes the cards, gets mom and dad in the kitchen, and together, the three of them cook, pack up, and deliver.
Here you go, take this.
Oh, thank you.
Homemade
It
meals
has a mask.
to those without a home.
Now, Miriam started this project. She makes an effort to do it several times a year. Her biggest, most important stop is in downtown Colorado Springs.
You don't imagine that. You don't imagine that.
Miriam's parents are extremely proud of her and say this urge to help others started long before she entered 6th grade.
My daughter, she has a big heart. She has a mercy, like inside her heart. She tried to help other people, even like on the street.
Words that have meaning.
Saying, have a great day, and also remember that you are worth it.
Actions
Here you go, sir.
that have impact.
So anybody else with you? I'm not expecting anything in return for it.
A little girl
Would you like this?
making a gigantic difference.
There's a mask and gloves inside.
Pet owners know every day feels like National Pet Day, but on Sunday, April 11th, it's official. It's a time to pay special attention to your best friend, and species is irrelevant. Some people have furry dogs and cats, others prefer feathered friends, fish, or even scaly snakes. Whatever your companion brings you joy, take some time today to make sure you're providing them the very best environment. Throw away toys that have become unsafe, verify vaccinations are up to date, and check tags or other forms of ID in case your pet gets lost. And if you don't have a pet, well, it's a great time to visit your local animal shelter and maybe offer an animal in need a loving forever home.
Speaking of pets, this week's pet of the week is Rena. Rena is a rockin' 3-year-old chick who can't wait to boogie her way into your life. When she's not busy working on the lyrics for her next hit single, Rena likes relaxing at the spa or cozying up on the couch with a nice book. She'd love someone to share her passions with, so come adopt her today. She's altered, vaccinated, microchipped, and FIV negative. We're out of time, but for more Auburn news, head over to our website, eagleeyeauburn.com, and check out our social media pages. I'm Hisa Yoon.
And I'm Blake Phillips. Thank you so much for watching, and War Eagle.